Do 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 do. It's a world of laughter, a world of cheer. It's a world of hope and a world of fear. There's so much that we share that it's time we're aware. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all.
Cut.
Okay, so that's not gonna be our intro. I just had this stuck in my head. Hey, it was either this or small potatoes. So pick one.
Small world it is.
Small world.
Mm-hmm.
On the topic of small potatoes, me and my brother were singing that at the grocery store yesterday, and it got in my mom's head.
Yeah.
Anyway, and we were harmonizing too.
They literally were.
We were harmonizing. Me and my brother are terrible at harmonizing. Small potato, small potato,
Ready.
small potato, small potato. Anyway, welcome back to Reading Percy Jackson, my Christian mother. My name is Mila. I'm your host, and here's my co-host, my mom.
My name is Misty, and I am the Christian mom who is thebomb.com. Don't you forget it.
And this week we read chapters 17 and 18. We shopped for waterbeds, and Annabeth does obedience school.
Mm-hmm.
So in the last chapter, they just got out of the Lotus Casino because it was like literally frying their brain and driving them crazy. Grover literally aimed a gun at Percy and Annabeth.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing that human hunter game too long.
Yeah.
Video games mess up your mind.
So they finally get out and they find a taxi and they don't have any money. They're broke again.
Yeah. So they used the Lotus Casino card that they got from the hotel to pay for the...
Yeah, and thankfully it worked.
Thankfully, it did work. They had infinity dollars, and it was Annabeth's card, so the cab person referred to her as Your Highness, and she was just like...
They had that Black American Express. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know. Anyway, during the cab ride, Percy tells them the dream he had the night before.
He's just like, I was Jesus.
Or actually, it was the night that they rode in the truck, which was the night before. No, it wasn't.
No, it
because
wasn't.
they were in the casino for 3 days.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
So anyway, when they rode in the truck, he was telling them about the dream that happened while he was in the truck. But he can't remember all the details, but he just remembers this country guy talking to this other guy.
This other guy that's like, I don't know. Wait, what does the other guy sound like? What do you think the other guy sounds like?
He's like, yeah, bruh.
Yeah, bro.
He doesn't even know, like, what's going on.
He's so stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's,
And then the country dude's like, well, he's here.
He's here. Why? And then the other guy's just like, why'd you let him here?
Yeah.
Why is he here? And then
Is he visiting?
is he visiting? What's going on? He just like sounds like Patrick from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
He also has the mind of Patrick from SpongeBob. And the guy, like we said last time, he referred to Percy can't remember what the guy referred the invisible servant he can't remember what the invisible servant referred to the monster in the pit. And Annabeth is just like, well, did he refer to him as like the invisible one, the dark one, the silent one, a lot of ones.
Yeah.
The rich one, and she's just like, those are all like things that people refer to Hades for.
Mm-hmm.
And Percy's just like, well, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't him.
And they're like, well, if it wasn't him, then like, who was it?
What?
That's why we're reading the book.
Yeah.
Y'all. That's why we read the book. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, so they have to go to the underworld, and they only have 1 day left.
They only have 1 day left because they were in that casino for 5 whole days. Count them. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So they have this taxi man driver speeding. He does not go slower than 90 miles an hour.
95.
Whatever. It's
it does
fast.
not dip below 95.
He drives like her daddy. The entire way to
My dad drives really fast.
California, from Vegas to California. Yeah, he does.
There was a scene in The Lightning Thief where they're just like, I can get you there. Grover's like, I can get you there in 4 hours, maybe 3. And then I'm thinking, well, you can get there in 2 hours or less if you drive really fast.
If it's my husband driving 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours,
No
yeah.
problem.
No problem.
But they arrive at Santa Monica Beach at sunset the same day that they left from Vegas because dude was speeding.
It was
He's like speed racer.
It was my dad.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
the cab driver.
yeah, exactly. We know what he's gonna play in the play.
Oh yeah.
Percy walks into the waves and getting deeper and deeper.
And Amber's like, "Hey, Percy, that water's disgusting. Do you know how polluted it is?" And he's just like, "I can't hear you. The water is in my ears."
Yeah.
And then he sees a shark, and it like pets him. And it's like nudging.
Well, he goes
him.
down and he's holding his breath at first, and then all of a
he's
sudden,
like, it's hard to like intentionally swallow water.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Why can't I breathe under here? Like that's weird, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And then the shark like comes up to him, but the shark's like kind of like nudging him, like playing with him, like hey.
It's like Oscar, but like not blind.
Maybe not like more like Louis.
Yes.
Like hey.
I have a really active pug.
Yes.
By the way, on the topic of animals, something fun that we're going to do is, what are your guys' favorite Pokemon? Because I know mine is Magikarp because it turns into Gyarados, and I love it because it was based off of a Japanese myth. And what's your favorite Pokemon?
I literally only know Pikachu.
Pikachu.
That's all I
So
got.
put in the comments what your favorite Pokemon is and why. Anyway, back on topic. Sorry for taking that detour.
Yes. So, it's a Mako shark is nudging him.
Mila Mako shark.
Yeah, and Percy grabs a hold of his fin.
And then it bucks.
Yeah, and the Mako shark takes Percy further out into the ocean until Percy is at the edge of a great, what is that?
Chasm.
Yeah.
Chasm.
Yeah. Where the ocean floor drops even further down. And then at this point he's like, why are my lungs not being crushed? What is going on right now? Like I should be
What do you
dead.
think the shark's name is?
Sharky.
Shelly.
I don't name sharks.
I name everything.
I
got a new alarm clock recently. I named it Gary.
I name my kids and my dogs.
And that's it. I name everything else.
And then most people's names I can't remember. I apologize in advance. But anyways, so it was like standing on the rim of the Grand Canyon at midnight. That's how black it was. It was like, okay,
We've actually been to the Grand Canyon.
Yes, it's like I know that it's very, very far down there.
And it's very, very deep.
But I can't see nothing.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I would be like, ooh, I don't know if I want to go any further because, like,
So anyway,
suddenly a water spirit rises.
Her name is.
He recognizes her.
Yeah, she's the lady from the Mississippi.
Yeah.
You know, with the catfish.
Yes.
She was talking to the catfish.
And she introduces herself as Nereid.
A nerd.
Oh, I thought it was Nereid.
I thought it was a nerd.
Or is it a Nereid?
We don't know how to pronounce things. Nerd, Nereid, Nerid. I like nerd personally.
I don't care. Either way.
We call it a nerd.
Same.
Okay, so it's
a spirit of the sea.
It's a sea spirit.
Yeah.
Nerd.
She works for Poseidon, right?
Yeah.
So she's bringing a message to Percy.
And Percy's just like, well, why couldn't you tell me himself?
Like, why can't my dad come, bruh? Like, seriously, he can't even, I'm in the ocean all the way down here. He's from the ocean. He can't even come and, like,
oh, and by the way, before Percy just like, wow, that's a lot of ocean. And he's just like, well, my teacher told me that, like, the ocean, like, covers 75% of the earth. How could I be, like, the kid of someone that powerful?
The ocean has big water, Percy.
Big water.
Big bathtub.
Big bathtub. Is that a reference to something?
Yeah, it's a reference from Misty Martinez.
Misty Martinez. Big bathtub.
So, anyways, she introduces herself as a
nerd.
Okay.
Nerd.
So the spirit of the sea, and Percy's like, he's mad. First of all, he's 12, but he acts like he's 27. Anyway, we won't go there today. But he's 12, so of course I personally know how 12-year-olds have attitudes. But oh hey girl, hey.
Right here, you know.
Hey girl, hey. But they personally have big attitudes, and so he's like having like a little tantrum, right? Like, my daddy couldn't tell me himself. Why he not here?
My father couldn't even tell me himself.
He could
We were watching the scene.
Rode on a Mako shark and got here.
He could
Yes.
have surfed a Mako shark.
Yes, he could have. So, and
I didn't realize this, but my dad would guest star in this video.
because he loves to fish. He
Yeah.
is like a water king, right?
He's
So
not
he
in
would
the-
be like Poseidon.
He's not in the frame right now, but he's in the room.
He's also in his underwear. So anyway, so
Anyway,
Percy,
he's
she
mad.
tells the nerd, tells Percy not to be so judgmental, right?
That gods can't interfere with their kids.
They can't help their half-blood children, so they send somebody who works on his behalf, which is her. So, I mean, that was nice.
That was nice.
Yeah,
But like,
I'd have taken her back. If my kid had an attitude, I'd have been like,
give her back.
take it back. Yes, that's called an Indian, what is it, Indian gift? Where
Yeah, Indian giving.
That's what I would do.
Or Indian giving.
I'd be like, okay, try to get back up to the surface now. Bye.
Well, technically, he didn't really need her help to get back up to the surface.
Whatever. I'd still be like, bye.
Bye.
So,
She rides away on her giant seahorse.
yeah.
Her giant fish horse.
Yeah. So, she gives Percy a gift of 3 pearls. And she says, take these, and when you need it, smash a pearl at your feet.
Yeah, and if you think about a place that you want to go, and it'll appear there.
And then the nerd warns Percy not to trust Hades.
No, not to trust. Not to trust Hades.
And tells him to follow his heart no matter what.
But I thought a couple chapters ago she told him not to trust any gifts.
Okay, right, and then she's giving him a gift. Okay, like conspiracy theory much.
And
then the other dude's like giving him shoes that fly when you know homie can't be in the sky.
That rhymes.
I mean, I'm
and
just
Ares
saying.
gave him that backpack, but Chiron also gave him the pen. Who can you trust and who cannot you trust?
Nobody.
Trust no one, Percy.
Because I know Chiron is the one, like, he knows.
He knows
what's up.
He knows himself. It's like Gravity Falls, trust no one. Like Percy and Dipper can be on the same level. Just like trust no one. I remember Percy.
I don't even trust people at my house. Like,
wait, what?
Oh, hey, girl.
I remember Percy's gonna be betrayed by one who calls him a friend. How many friends does Percy have?
Like 2.
2, kind of 2.
Like they're with him.
They're with him.
Yikes.
Who's gonna betray him?
So that's like, yeah. It's
Do you think it's gonna be Annabeth?
No, I think it's definitely gonna be Grover. He's gonna run
Why
away.
is Grover going to betray them?
He's gonna run away because he's scared.
And how is that betrayal?
Because he's supposed to be protecting him.
Yeah, but it's not betrayal. It's just him being afraid.
Oh, it's betrayal. Like if me and you, like if we're going somewhere on a mission, like and I'm about to get killed and you run, oh, that's betrayal.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I will come back and haunt you.
So you don't think that Annabeth is gonna betray Percy when Annabeth like knows more about this stuff than he does?
I feel like Annabeth's pretty loyal.
Okay, Annabeth's pretty loyal, but Grover's kind of shady. Yeah. Not really, but like
anytime there's a big mission
guy
or something that they're supposed to be doing, like he disappears.
Yeah. We were watching the Sea of Monsters yesterday, and during like the whole fight scene, Mom was just like, "Where's Grover?" Nowhere.
He didn't have a scratch. Not
he had
one little.
No scratch.
Not a bead of sweat.
Percy was like, I know like the movies don't do a good representation, but they do a good representation of Grover and his like incompetence.
Boom. That's the word.
And that's the tea.
Mic drop.
And that's the tea.
So anyway, she disappears into the depths of the ocean, and Percy, Annabeth, and Grover take a bus to West Hollywood. And they wander the streets for miles looking for the DOA recording studios. Okay, so for me, DOA means dead on arrival. I watch a lot of investigation. Discovery. That is not what it means. Okay, she has been singing all day. Like, I don't understand. So, it's the recording studios, the gates of the underworld.
That was a song from the Lightning Thief musical, by
but
the way.
no one has ever heard of it or knows where it is, because it's dead, yo. It's dead.
And by the way,
dead on arrival.
I did some research while I had free time at school, and the reason why it is a recording studio is because people used to think whenever recording studios were still like popular, people
they still are.
I mean, like they still are, but
yeah.
still, they used to think that it was like death to an artist because they used to be so hard on the like artist to be.
I like it.
It was like death to an artist, basically.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because they would shoot him down.
Well, I think the reason why nobody has ever seen it or knows where it's at is because you dead, bruh. Like if you find it, you ain't coming back up. Like you dead. Like it's down.
You ain't coming back
It's
up.
down underground. You ain't. You dead. You can't live. You're not living to tell.
Yeah.
That you saw it. You know what
it's
I mean?
like Dead Man Tell No Tale.
Mm.
From Pirates of the Caribbean.
Love that movie.
Dead Man
Love
Tell
me
No
some
Tale.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Anyway,
same.
so
Johnny Depp, please sponsor us. Just kidding.
yeah. Percy sees Smelly Gabe crying on the TV. He's got some lady next to him, and he's like, "My life is ruined. Like this kid." I'm like, "Welcome to fatherhood."
Welcome
okay.
to fatherhood.
Just kidding. But no, for real though. But he's like, "This kid, like, he done ruined my life. He wrecked my car.
He kidnapped my wife.
The lady who does everything for me.
Oh,
now I need another slave." You know, and Barbara Walters is like, "You've heard it from the horse's mouth," or whatever, and she's like, "The fugitive is still on the loose, and the man still has a broken heart and no car." Like,
no car.
Give me a break, Grab me a river. And anyway, so some strange and scary characters are coming out of the woodwork in West Hollywood. So Percy's like, I grew up in New York, like, which is scary, but Hollywood is like real scary.
Because everything is like far apart.
Yeah, and in New York, everything
is close together.
Yeah.
Everything makes sense. Everything is orderly. But in Hollywood, everyone's just like hippie.
Peace, love, tree hugging. You know.
Austin.
Just saying. Just kidding.
No, I'm just
Don't hate us.
We're just kidding.
Okay. Anyways.
We're just kidding. We live in Texas. We live in Texas. That's why the pit is country. Or whatever's in the pit is country.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
So a group of rich kids with knives.
Oh, God. Rich kids with knives.
I mean, I will cut somebody.
I will cut you.
I mean, if they're going to have a weapon, I guess it would be a knife. You don't know what I'm hiding in my hair. Could be hiding a knife in there.
Could be. Or a pen, because you lose all your pens.
Yeah, I do. I usually have pens in my hair, actually. Like, a lot. Like, one time I had, like, 3.
Yeah.
And I was, because I kept looking
In
for
your
another
glasses.
pen. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's where they're all at.
So they're trying to beat up Percy, Annabeth, and of course they're trying to beat up Grover.
These rich kids.
Honestly, I think they could take Grover.
Their parents don't even know where they're at or what they're doing. So
They
Percy
could
tries
probably
to
take
use
Grover.
Riptide on them, but they're mortal, so
They're
it
like
doesn't work.
100%, no questions asked, mortal.
Yeah, so it won't work on them.
Mm-mm.
So he like slices the dude, and the dude's like, "Ugh," and then he's like,
Wait.
it's going down.
It's going down. It's going down.
Yeah.
I'm yelling timber. This is a musical episode, by the way. You better move. You better dance.
Let's make a night
you won't remember.
Okay, anyways,
I'll
so
be
then
the
the 3 of them
one
run as fast as
you
they
won't
can.
forget.
Oh, right.
We're gonna cut that out.
Oh, no, we're not. This is what I deal with every day, y'all. I accept apologies, it's fine. Anyways,
Please don't hate us in the comments.
so the 3 run as fast as they can away from the growing gang of rich kids with knives.
Oh, God.
So, and they run into Krusty's waterbed palace. And Krusty is like excited. He's like, "Yeah, I love them rich kids because they make everybody run in here."
And then whenever Krusty introduces himself, he's just like, "Hi, I'm Krusty," and Percy's just like, "Yes, you are."
Yeah, he's like super tall.
He's just like, yeah, he's super tall and freaking ugly.
Yeah, and he's like, "Come on in, try out some waterbeds, hide from the kids."
My name is Krusty.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Of course, Grover is the first one to try out a bed, right?
It's like this black silk waterbed with like
Lava
massage and lava lamps, and he's just like, "Guys, you gotta try this
Yeah,
out."
it's like, no, bro, you're supposed to be protecting Percy.
Yeah.
And you're on a waterbed.
You're on a
Where
waterbed.
was Grover when these kids with knives was there?
He was hiding behind Percy and Annabeth.
Exactly. Okay, point exactly.
And that's
Rick.
the tea.
Just saying, Rick. So, Percy
I
asks...
actually like Grover. I think
I
he's a
do
good
too.
character, but he's not a good protector.
Definitely
Don't
not.
hate on us.
He's a good friend.
He's a good friend.
He's a good follower.
Yeah, but he's not a good leader.
Because he definitely follows them.
Definitely. But
But
Percy and Annabeth are definitely the leaders.
Yeah. So, so while Grover's trying out the waterbed, Annabeth tries out a safari-themed waterbed. Ooh, look at her.
Safari snack.
Yeah.
She's 12.
Suddenly, Krusty snaps his fingers and says,
Yes.
Ergo.
Ergo.
Whatever.
Ergo.
And ropes bind Annabeth and Grover to their beds. We didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no. Did not see that coming. Did not see that coming.
That'd be kind of a cool trick, though, if I could just be like, and then like you're like tied to your bed. And
What the?
hang on.
Why?
Just in case I don't want you to leave the house.
Why
What if
would
you're
you
grounded?
Not? Oh, okay. If I was grounded, I'd probably be in my room. The
Anyway.
entire time.
Anyways, so then they're all like, whoa, what just happened right now? Percy asks Krusty to let his friends go, but Krusty says he's got to make him fit the beds first.
Oh, God.
What does that mean? And then the beds are 6 feet long.
The beds are 6 feet long. Here's some long beds. Is this bed's 6 feet long?
So he plans on stretching Percy
God.
and Annabeth.
Honestly,
Grover and Annabeth.
Percy and Annabeth. I have a friend at school. Well, he was more of an acquaintance. He was a friend like last year. He was in like a group that I was working with. His name is Jack. He's super tall. Honestly, it would take like a little bit of stretching to stretch him to fit one of those beds.
Mm-hmm. Jack, if you want to sponsor our show, you're welcome to.
You can sponsor us with like tall. Yep. So yeah, I have a tall friend. He'd probably like be a couple inches shorter than Krusty's waterbeds. So like he'd have no problem with that.
Yeah.
And or fit a waterbed. I'm not sure how tall he actually is. Probably close to like 6 feet though.
So, ladies and gentlemen, meet Pro Krusties. Krusty for short. The stretcher once who tried to kill Theseus.
Killed. Tried to kill.
Sorry.
Tried to kill Theseus.
My vocabulary is not good today.
Grammar.
Yeah. So Percy charms Krusty into trying out a bed himself.
And
how
then,
is that possible?
No. So first Percy asks, well, what if the person's too long for the bed? What if they're taller? What if they're like longer than 6 feet? And Krusty's just like, oh yeah, that's a major fix. That's a minor fix. We straighten them out, and then I chop off whatever I center them perfectly, and then chop off whatever on the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
Your head's on the top. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but your head's on the top.
I don't know why this is so unstable today. That's like moving a lot. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
He uses a giant axe, by the way.
Percy snaps his finger when he lays down and says "Ergo," and ropes bind Krusty up. Krusty. And Percy uses Riptide to loop off.
He's just like center him.
Yeah. To
And
loop
then,
off his head.
And then Krusty's just like, hey, half off, like 30% off waterbeds, no interest down, 12 months, no whatever.
Yeah.
Just
and then his head comes off. So it turns out that the entrance to the underworld is right around the block.
1 mile away.
Yay!
Like fireworks go off. Yay!
Yeah. So that was a cliffhanger because I totally thought they were going to die again.
Rick
But
does
they
that
didn't.
a lot.
And then we move on to the next chapter, which is
Annabeth does obedience school, and obedience school is for dogs.
My little sister went to obedience school.
She had a little cap and everything when she graduated.
She did. They gave her a little cap and gown. She didn't even finish. I don't even think. She was like a obedience school dropout. Don't tell my mom that. My mom thinks she's like everything.
So anyway, they made it. They got to the underworld,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a recording studio.
And Percy gives Annabeth and Grover a pearl. Remember that he had 3, so they each have one, right?
And Percy's like, hey guys, do you remember the plan? Yes, I remember the plan. This is a stupid plan.
Mm-hmm.
And Annabeth's like, yes, we remember the plan, Grover. This is a stupid plan.
Grover's like, I just follow you.
Grover's just like, can I wait outside?
Yeah. Is there another waterbed? Like, I want to take a nap.
I want to take a nap. I'm gonna take a nap in that bush over there, Percy.
Mhm.
That's a rose bush.
Mhm.
Grover. It's still a bush.
Can I eat roses?
Can I eat the roses?
Percy, so then
Will
they enter the
as
lobby.
good as the lotuses?
Right. So they enter the lobby, and this music plays
Mozart.
Yeah, Mozart. Plays softly on hidden speakers, right? So it's like this alluring type, like elevator music. The walls and the carpet were like steel gray. And pencil cactuses grew, so little bitty cactuses grew in the corners like skeleton hands. I don't think my hands are like skeletons, but they might be. I don't know. I wrote it myself today, I guess. Sorry. But dead people are everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's crowded. And Percy knows they're dead people, so he's like, "Ew, this is a little bit creepy." I would be creeped out.
I would be creeped out too. They're dead people.
Sure, yeah. Because when he looks directly at any of them, they are transparent. So he like sees right through them. That's
invisible man. So anyway, they go up to the person at the front desk, right?
Yep.
And
tall, elegant, with chocolate-colored skin and bleached blonde hair, shaved military style. He wore tortoiseshell shades. These are like tortoiseshell here. And a silk Italian suit that matched his hair. And a black rose was pinned to his lapel under a silver name tag. So he was fancy.
Fancy man.
That's like a fancy underworld.
And his name is Charon.
Yeah, Charon. Not to be confused with Chiron.
Not to be confused with Karen.
Yeah, the guy who ferries you across the river Styx to Hades Central.
And not to be confused with Karen, you know, those like
Karen.
Yeah, not to be confused with that. You know, those blessings, just
those precious little Karens.
Those precious peaches. Those
God
blessings.
Bless them. So it's Karen with a C H.
Because most CHs in ancient Greek made a hard C.
Well, he's like, sorry y'all, like y'all gonna be waiting a while because the waiting list to ride is like really, really long. Don't you see all these transparent people? Like they all want to get across too.
Yeah, you young deadlings.
Yeah, and they're all here before you were. So
yeah, they all died before you.
So Percy bribes Charon with lots of drachmas stolen from Krusty's, of course. Courtesy of Krusty. Thank you, Crust.
Krusty, sponsor us.
Yes.
We're just asking for sponsors left and right. Sponsor us.
And promises
Hades,
to discuss a pay raise for Charon with Hades when he gets to the other side. So Karen's like all like, oh yeah, let's do this.
By the way, I'm not sure if anyone's noticed, but I dyed my hair yesterday.
Oh, I can tell.
Thank you. I'm not sure if they can tell because like the lighting, it makes it look black.
Yeah, it does. Why does it look so dark?
Not sure. I have a dark soul. That's why.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
My hair's just dark.
I'm just kidding. Your hair's dark, not dyed. Anyway.
They start out taking an elevator, but then the elevator soon becomes a boat.
Going forward.
Yeah. They're like, oh, my stomach feels a little bit weird.
And Percy's like, I think I'm getting seasick.
Yes.
And you're the son of Poseidon.
Like that's not possible.
It's not possible for you.
You should not get sick on any water, like ever. Percy.
And then
if you could ride like a big tidal wave, I think you'll be all right in an elevator full of water.
Yeah.
Or water.
Percy's like a surfing champion.
But he can't be in an elevator that is gliding like water.
But I bet he's a surfing champion.
Yeah. So anyway, they start. So then they're on like a wooden barge, and Karen was poling us across a dark, oily river.
You said us.
Yeah, well them.
You
across
said
a dark, oily river, swirling with bones and dead fish.
Ew.
And other strange things. Plastic dolls, crushed carnations, soggy diplomas. Ugh. And he's like, this is, y'all throw all of y'all's leftovers in here.
All of your hopes and your dreams in here. Like,
that's so sad.
That is sad.
I wonder if it stinks.
You know what? It probably does. There's dead fish in there.
Don't be littering your hopes and dreams into
I was about to give up on writing my play, and that was, my script was probably going to go into the river Styx. But you're welcome, Karen. I did not. And thanks, my mom. told me not to.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Also, 12-year-old Lin-Manuel Miranda in the bathroom. It was a ghost, I swear.
So the ceiling way above is covered with pointy stalactites. So they're like...
They're hanging tight to the ceiling.
And the shore is covered in green mist. I bet you it just smells horribly.
Oh, yeah. It probably smells like sulfur.
So it's scary to them in the underworld.
Yeah.
It's scary to me.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't going to no underworld. I'm going to heaven. But anyways, that's another story.
Another story for another time.
Yes.
We don't know
And
a lot.
when they reach the shore, they see a black sand castle, which I think is pretty. That'd probably be really pretty.
It probably would be really pretty. You know, like those black sand beaches?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I was on one.
You were?
A few times in Hawaii.
Ooh, pretty.
It's lava.
Oh, it is. Okay.
So, anyways, there's a black castle, and it has high walls stretching as far as the eye can see.
Oh,
got a lot of bedrooms in there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of dead people.
So,
So,
dead people?
I mean, does that give you is that like a good thing? Like, at least if you're going to the underworld, like, what, I have a room in the castle? Like, I'd rather be in the castle than the river Styx.
Yeah. Maybe. Not sure.
So there's an attendant on duty in a line. So the entrance to the underworld, it looked like a cross between an airport security and the Jersey Turnpike, from what Percy says. So
we know
I
what
don't
an
really
airport.
know.
We know what an airport security looks like.
Jersey Turnpike, not so much.
Not even close.
Mm-hmm.
But we know what an airport security looks like.
Yes, been through that many times.
Many times.
So there's an attendant on duty in line, which is super slow and super long. So it might be like our Beltway 8 tollway. Is what I'm thinking. But we have an easy tag, so it's a little bit different. Apparently they don't have easy tags in the underworld.
There's easy death line. Though.
Bummer.
There's the easy death line.
So yes, and there is an easy death line, and those among the dead who don't wish to be judged can simply choose the easy death, which leads to the Asphodel Fields. Did I say that right?
Yes, I think so.
So
wait, let me see it again.
The Asphodel Fields are a kind of like purgatory.
I think it's like oh, I said it. I think it's asphodel actually.
Asphodel. These are all new words to me. I'm learning. And the
Persephone.
Yeah, asphodel is like purgatory. So you're going straight to hell. You're going straight to the bad part.
Oh God, no! I think the fields of punishment's the bad part.
Whatever, it's all bad. It's down there.
Oh God!
I'm not trying to go down there. Like I want to go
bad
up.
part.
Up there.
I ain't trying
to go down there. No, I want to be in heaven with Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior.
Olympus. Okay, heaven. So anyway, asphodel is like where you go if you weren't really good or you weren't really bad or you just don't want to be judged. So you're just wandering around, bodiless, soulless, just wandering around, trying to remember your own name. It's kind of like school, actually. If you think about it, it's like school. At the end of the day, you're trying to remember your own name.
You just wander around all day, bodiless and soulless?
I mean, basically.
God, that sounds horrible.
I'm just kidding. But, like,
wow.
School can be boring sometimes.
All right. So,
and this is why I have books.
Thank God for books.
Yeah.
I should be soulless and wandering around here, too. So then they meet, say that.
Cerberus.
Yes, a giant Rottweiler. Aw, I imagine him being like
giant
a pug.
pug.
Yes.
Yes.
So cute.
Giant pug.
He's got 3 heads.
He's the goodest of boys.
And he guards the underworld.
He's the goodest of boys.
Oh, I bet you he's so cute. I hope his face is real flat. And the 2 attendants on duty, there's 2 attendant on duty lines. They veer to either side of the dog. And the easy death line flows right between his legs.
Yeah.
And the dead spirits don't even have to crouch because the dog's so big, right? So they just go right underneath the leg.
I once saw this thing where it was a person saying, when I die, I want to get buried with 3 milk bones, so that way when I have to go to the underworld, I can feed them to the Cerberus.
I want to pray for that person. So anyway,
I want to get rid of 3 milk bones.
So Cerberus, he can detect he can sniff out any trespassers.
He can smell if you're living or not, basically.
Yeah. But why would you want to go to the underworld if you're living? Just saying, I would.
Percy and Annabeth want to. Grover's just like, nah, man, nah.
Yeah, he's like, no, thank you.
So anyway,
get the Brussels sprouts?
No, they're on their way. They might be at the front door. Go check the front door.
That was my dad.
So anyway, okay.
Who likes my hat?
So, Cerberus can detect the living among dead spirits. So now they're like, oh crap. I
Do you
didn't
like
realize.
my hat?
I do. I like it a lot. It looks like a little bun up there. So Percy tries to play fetch with him, which I would too. I'd probably be trying to pet it and everything
I have
too.
a fez now.
Will you stop moving so much?
Okay, I will.
So I would probably.
So he grabs like a stick
Yeah.
and he throws it, and Cerberus is just like, dude, do you really think that's gonna get me?
Yeah.
And then Annabeth takes out a toy.
And then the one good thing Grover does is communicate with the
he's like
Cerberus.
bark, bark, bark,
Yes.
bark, 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 bark.
And
We forgot to mention the funniest part. We forgot to mention who was on council.
Oh.
It was King Minos. Well, it alternates between like big historic people. It's like King Minos, William Shakespeare, and Thomas Jefferson. And I'm picturing that, but I'm picturing Hamilton Thomas Jefferson. He's in like his magenta suit with like the poofy hair, and like that's the only way that I can picture Thomas Jefferson.
Like
not in a way that history wants us to
fancy
remember
foods.
him.
Yeah.
The way
With the swag.
with
He's
the
got a little extra pep in his step.
what did I miss?
Yeah, yeah.
What did I?
Okay,
This is
anyway.
the second time we mentioned that.
So the dog communicates with
That's the
Grover,
third time, not sure.
telling him that they have 10 seconds to get out of there, or they are dog chow.
D-E-D.
Or use a treat, Percy. Use a treat.
We offer Grover as a sacrifice.
Yes, and Annabeth gets the idea to play fetch. Now it's her idea. She's using a red rubber ball.
So she takes out.
She stole from the Waterworld gift shop.
She takes out a red rubber ball. I'm trying to take out my ball.
Thank
She
goodness
takes out a red rubber ball and
for
she eats it.
the gift shop, which they got clothing and all that from there.
They're probably wearing all the Waterworld stuff. Still.
Yeah. And because he doesn't get to play fetch that often, he's like, yes!
Yay,
He's like, is that a ball? Ball?
Ball.
Go get ball. Go
It's
get
like
ball.
Louis.
Yes,
Ball,
he is.
ball, ball.
Ball,
Where? Do you think all the heads are like Louis, or is there like one tired head,
No.
one happy head, and
No.
then one just sad head? One Lolita head.
A Lolita,
A Lolita, a Louis, and then a
and
half
Gigi.
blind one, which is Oscar.
Yeah, because Gigi would not have anything. Gigi would just done teared her head
Oh
off.
God!
She'd be like, I don't want to be around these people. Like, I'm out. They'd be one headless.
The servers actually used to have 4 heads, but one of them like ripped it off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That doesn't make sense actually.
And so.
Wait, can I tell you something funny?
What?
Did you know that in Cerberus in Greek translates into spot in English?
Really? Which
So
makes sense.
Hades-
Sounds like a dog.
So Hades named his dog. So Hades named the guard to the entire underworld Spot.
That's cute.
That's
it makes
adorable.
Sense. So he doesn't get to play very much as he guards the entrance to Hades, watching dead people walk around him all day. So he's like, I am going to get the ball. Excuse me.
Excuse
So
me.
he has a
I will
great
get the ball
time.
now.
Yeah, and he's having a blast. And he's playing with Annabeth, and she's all excited. She gets a little emotional.
She gets a little emotional. They used to have, what was it, a golden retriever?
Yes, yeah. When she lived with her dad.
When she lived with her dad, she used to have a golden retriever.
Yeah.
And she would play with him, or it, or they, and she misses that now.
So while she's playing, Percy and Grover, they go right through to the easy death line, right? And the dog never finds out. So after she makes him sit, and this is where the title comes in, she should work at an obedience school.
Oh yeah, she would be good at it.
Yeah, she would, because she would know what to do and stuff with her brain.
I think
Yeah.
child.
Yeah. So she's like, makes him sit, and then he does. And then she scoots by through the line.
Do you think that it made a big rumbling sound whenever he sat down, just like an earthquake?
Oh yeah. I wonder if he's squishing people. Because they all go through his legs. I wonder if he just
I
sat.
squished a ghost and I liked it.
Dun, 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 dun.
That was a spin on I Kissed a Girl.
Yes.
By
yeah,
Taylor
we
Swift.
got it. We got you.
I squished a ghost and I liked it.
So there's metal detectors in the underworld.
Why? You're dead.
Yeah, you're see-through. Okay. So as they pass through the metal detectors, several alarms go off. I mean, Hades.
I think they're alive. They're alive detectors.
Yeah,
Maybe, there might not be metal detectors. There might be alive detectors.
So they have to hide in this hollowed out, rotten tree, which probably doesn't smell any better than the river Styx.
Honestly, the whole underworld probably just smells like sulfur.
Ugh.
Sulfur.
As security ghouls gather to see what the problem is. They're like, what's going on?
Hey, homie, what's going on?
Who's alive?
Who's alive?
We about to kill you.
We about to kill you.
Who's alive? We about to kill you.
Who's alive? We about to kill you.
So Annabeth sheds a little tear as she hears the dog crying for her in the distance.
Annabeth should just adopt the Cerberus. Oh no, she should like have regular trips to the underworld. If there's like a fast underworld like way, and she should like hang out with the Cerberus.
Yeah, the Cerberus.
Hades wouldn't even have to like pay her.
With her.
Hades wouldn't even have to pay her. He's just like, hey, my Cerberus is lonely. Can you like come down here and play with him? She's just like,
sad.
Obviously, yes.
So anyway, that was the end of that.
Yeah, that was the end of the chapter. They're hiding in the tree, and
do they make it out? We don't know.
I mean, we have okay. So the next two chapters are called. So the next two chapters are chapters
19 and 20.
19 and 20. Chapter 19 is we learn the truth, sort of, and chapter 20 is.
Don't remember. I don't remember. That's not the name of it.
Sorry, we're gonna edit this part out.
Just put chapter 20.
I battle my jerk. Chapter 20 is called I battle my jerk relative.
Ooh, I do that a lot.
Who?
I'm just kidding.
Okay, so what do you think they learn? What do you think the truth is, sort of? What do you think the sort
Who's
of
going to
truth
betray
is?
them, I think.
Okay.
Or they're kind of going to find out. We're going to kind
They're
of find
gonna-
out who it is.
Okay, and who do you think this jerk relative is that Percy battles?
His dad?
Who's been a jerk to him?
Luke. Oh, a jerk?
How has Luke been a jerk to him?
Because he gave him shoes to fly when you know he can't fly, bruh. Like,
How is that being a jerk?
That's rude. You want me to die. That's rude.
I mean, yeah. Okay, but who else do you think this jerk relative would be? I mean, that's
it's
one option.
Therese.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
she's a jerk relative to everybody. I feel like.
She's a jerk relative to everyone.
She's that one cousin you're like, oh, why? They're so mean.
She's like that
no
one.
Matter how
She's that
nice
one
you are.
relative at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you're like, oh, when they walk in, you're like, no.
You're like hoping that they don't show up, but then like they show up,
Mm-hmm.
and their parents are all nice.
Yeah.
Their parents are really nice,
Like,
except
really
for Clarice's dad's not nice.
Yeah.
Except for Clarice's dad's not nice, but like she's that one who like is a jerk to everyone, but her parents are really cool.
Yeah.
So like you kind of want them to come over, but you don't want them to come over.
Yeah, you want the parents to come over. You're like, hey, can you leave your kid at home?
So anyway, do we have a cousin like that? Don't answer that question.
I know.
Don't answer that question.
No.
Our family knows
No.
everything.
We
Our
don't.
family knows everything.
We don't have a cousin.
We
like
don't.
that.
We don't have a cousin at all.
We love all of our cousins.
I mean, we do have a cousin. But we love all of them equally.
Hashtag love y'all.
Anyway, anyway, that was another episode of Reading Percy Jackson with my Christian mother. See you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's go eat. Sorry.